Good evening, folks. It's Diamond from the Oppenheimer Ranch Project, Magnetic Reversal News, Shinrin Yoku, and Yurt Life, bringing you a grand solar minimum update Monday, February 5th, around 8:30 p.m. Mountain Time 2024. Take a look at the flooding in Southern California. This is in the barrio, and it appears to be completely underwater. Many of the people are out on the roofs, and there doesn't appear to be much in the way of recovery except for this heavy piece of equipment. Can you believe it? Keep calm. It's boom time. LA, San Diego under state of emergency as atmospheric river lashes Southern California. A dangerous atmospheric river storm is blasting California with widespread impacts from heavy rain, damaging wind, and potentially life-threatening flash flooding. We already have accounts of how deadly this storm has been. Storm-related death reported in Santa Cruz County just 54 minutes ago. As the rain continues, roads in Beverly Hills impassable due to debris. And the man rescued after jumping into rain-swollen Los Angeles River to save a dog. Authorities also confirming another storm-related death in Sacramento County with more intense rain moving through the Los Angeles area. Take a look at this atmospheric river that is pummeling California. Here's February 2nd, the 3rd, February 4th, and now today. Absolutely stunning amount of moisture. Some areas picking up 10 inches of rain or more. Stunning rainfall, mudslides, flooding are thrashing Southern California, as we showed you in the video footage here in the barrio. Let's turn on. Let's hear what they have to say.
Crazy. Yep. This shit's crazy.
The whole barrio flooded, bro.
This shit's crazy.
The whole barrio flooded, bro.
I like the dog on the roof.
Poor car. Everyone's out safe though, it looks like. Got it.
Little doggo on the roof.
Neighbors up on the roof.
And let's see if we have any more flooding. I don't remember what I put up today. Oh, yeah. A little road surfing as well to keep it light. Well, if you got above a certain elevation, 7,000 feet, it was snowing, and snowfall as of Monday, 8 p.m., that's going to be right about now. 24 inches in Quincy, 27 in Graygle, 22 on Donner Pass, 20 in Truckee, Echo Summit, 21, Kirkwood. You could see a lot of snow is falling up on the Sierras. Take a look at our 5-day forecast for Wolf Creek, #1 in the nation, with 39 inches expected over the next 5 days, most of it coming in just the next 4 days. So we should be seeing some Purgatory. That's in Durango, #2 on the list, with Hesperus following up also in Colorado. So Colorado daily snow looking good. Significant power outages in both Santa Barbara, San Luis Obispo counties as well. I heard media claims of up to 1 million people without power, but I had never seen that on Power Outage US. Earlier today, 166,000 without power in California. Let's refresh this. That number is up to 279,000. Nowhere near 1 million. Maybe 1 million people affected because these are customers, which means single point customers that buy the electricity, which could be for entire rental complexes, so to speak. So 279,000 customers without power in California, and that number should continue to go up, in my opinion. Record snow hits Atlantic Canada with an emergency declared and a snow day in Colorado. Take a look at the shredder system at the top picture there. I believe I showed that today. It's absolutely dumping in Lake Tahoe as well, with snow at Lake Tahoe almost completely burying the stick. No, not really. But where was that picture? Oh, I do digress. It's just snowing a lot. Look at that. It's nothing but guardrail and avalanche. Shut up, Al. Get in your hole. He's not too happy with the snow. Ho, ho, ho. Here are the snowfall amounts that have fallen so far A lot of snow in the west as needed, which is good news. And here's the forecast. Life-threatening flash flooding and heavy mountain snow for southern and central California moving into the Four Corners region. An ongoing atmospheric river event will continue to produce multiple rounds of heavy rainfall into parts of southern California, including the LA basin through Tuesday. That will be their lose day. Dangerous small streams, urban and river flooding, mudslides, strong winds, and high surf are all possible. Heavy snow is also expected in the Sierra Nevadas through the Four Corners region, so take heed at the warnings. Click on your county for warnings and watches and more updates. And so we'll take a quick jump over here to the GFS model to take a look at what's going on. That's not the one I'm looking for. Here, we're going to take a look at the weather systems. That atmospheric river is going to continue to bomb out for 3, 6, 9, 12, 24 hours. And a secondary system is going to hit Southern California here on Thursday and into Friday. But then it should start to dry up early in the weekend, Saturday. So there is the system that's going to move through the Four Corners region Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And the only real system that we have to worry about later in the week here, Monday, February 12th and on, is this system moving through the south. So we've got this nor'easter type clipper that's going to be tracking quite south, going to be bringing snow to the likes of Philadelphia and New York City, perhaps. And then we have another system here moving through later in the week, but all quiet next week. So that's good news on the weather front. It will be a quiet weather maker for mid-February. And let's take a jump over here to the snowfall totals to bring this all up to speed. 3, 6, 9, 12. You can see heavy snow continues to fall in the Sierras as it tracks east through Nevada, dipping down into Arizona, Utah, and hitting the Four Corners region here Wednesday and into Thursday morning. We should be picking up at least 2 feet of snow in the high elevations for the South San Juans. Heavier snow totals for central Arizona and the Flagstaff region, perhaps. And the ski resorts there are going to be having a banner weekend this weekend. Thursday, here's your Friday through Saturday. By then, the snow is on the ground. 4 feet of snow predicted for the high elevations of Arizona, which would be record-breaking for some areas. As the system moves east here Monday, Tuesday into Wednesday, finally it hits the northeast, bringing that snow to Philadelphia and New York City by Wednesday, February 14th. Happy Valentine's Day, Northeast. You're going to get some of the global warming goodness. Seismic update. No quakes of note. We have some mid-ocean ridge activity here. 5.0 in the Reykjanes Ridge may be associated with the elevated activity over at Iceland there. Keeping a close eye on that. No other quakes of note. Normal activity worldwide, which is good news. Thumbs up. Here's the Reykjanes Peninsula as we know it. Seismicity has dropped off over the last 3 hours. It has been quite active for days, and we are waiting for that imminent eruption. Typically happens after a lull like this, and then a rapid increase in seismic tremor, and then, well, the Fisher eruption begins. Worldwide volcano news update. Rapehu. Who knew? Now you do. Is that how you say that? I knew. It's like Rapo or Rapaha. Well, it's the Crater Lake in New Zealand, and it's experiencing another heating episode. These heating episodes are cyclic in nature. You can see back in December of 2023, another heating episode, and so on and so forth. Seems to be a regular occurrence, but one of these heating episodes is going to lead to an eruption because, well, that's how it works. As far as the rest of volcanic activity, we've got Nevado de Ruiz to 21,000 feet, Fuego to 15, Sabancaya to 24,000, Reventador puffing and passing, Santa Guito to 14,000. Take a look at the thick ash column rising from Marapi with 2 A's, not with an E, this afternoon, and that is in western Sumatra. Strong eruption created billowing ash plumes there. I'm sure raising a hair. And that's about all that's happening worldwide. As we move over to space weather news, we had a huge sunspot cresting the limb over the last 2 days, and it has since been, well, not growing so much as breaking down, but a huge plage area nonetheless, albeit insignificant. The flaring has been minimal. We had some end flaring as it turned around the limb, then it went quiet as it started to face Earth. Seems to be a slight uptick with another C flare kicking off right now, C 8.2, and some D level absorption here and some radio blackout going on. The 3-day geomagnetic forecast is showing KP4 for tomorrow, potentially, which would be geomagnetic instability. But overall, very low level activity as we are still at solar max and we're waiting to drop down into solar minimum and the next cycle to maybe never begin. X-flare potential now at 25%, quite significant. And this has to do with the type of sunspots we currently have on the disk. Let's take a quick look at the sunspot summary, shall we? And we're only looking and worried about these two regions. AR3576, which is just turned around the limb, is beta delta. You can see that magnetic mixing between the positive and the negative there. X-flare potential at 10%. And we've got beta gamma delta at AR3575, which is turning away from us. X-flare potential there at 5%. So this clearly needs to be updated, as the current X-flare potential that I just looked at was at 25%. So something may have happened in recent hours, and so maybe this angry sunspot facing Earth now is becoming a little more magnetically complex. Cross your fingers that's not the case, because an X20 is the last thing you need. Trust me on that one. Did you ever wonder why different meteorites are different colors? Well, it has to do with the astrochemical composition of the objects. Yes. What am I trying to say here? Well, in cosmology, different objects that enter our atmosphere have different elements on them. So each asteroid is unique, and typically each asteroid stream is a group of unique chemistry. So some asteroid swarms that we see come in as green, some come in as more purple, some come in as multicolored. And the reason is right before your very eyes right here. The red meteorites that you see burning up in the atmosphere contain mostly nitrogen and oxygen. The orange meteorites, sodium. The green meteorites have mostly magnesium burning up there, and the blue ones, iron, and the purple ones, calcium. So, how do you like them apples? Pretty interesting stuff. Scientists develop a new dirt-powered fuel cell that runs forever. And this is no joke. I can't make this up. Fuel cells that run on telluric currents have been known forever, but this particular fuel cell runs on the biological activity of the mycelium in the subsurface. Absolutely mind-blowing. These microbes are ubiquitous. They already live in the soil everywhere, said Northwestern George Wells, a senior author on the study. And we know more about microbes than most people, as we are huge proponents of beam and biologically complex soil additives in the form of supercharged compost. Now, they can use very simply engineered systems to capture the electricity from these biological entities in the soil, and they actually power fuel cells. Absolutely amazing. Take a look at this. The fuel cell covered in dirt after being extracted from the ground right here. Microbial fuel cells operate without disruption. They need to stay hydrated and oxygenated, which is tricky when buried underground with dry dirt. So it needs to be wet under there. So particularly difficult in desert environments, but you can obviously see how wet his little mud pit is there. So they are now making fuel cells. Now, these have been around for over 100 years. This idea is not new. Telluric currents or getting electricity from the dirt. People have just stuck wires in the ground and found that there are electrical currents down there. But it has been suppressed by big oil and other manufacturers of electricity. So maybe the tide is shifting, perhaps. But I do digress. Take a look at this climate hysteria here. Trees in warmer, water-scarce region emit 2 times higher carbon dioxide. I didn't think they got the memo. Basic tree biology. Trees take in carbon dioxide and release oxygen by way of photosynthesis. And then they store that carbon in their trunks. So headlines like this are meant to make you dumber. Yes, that's it. This is brainwashing 101. Nose picking likely partially to blame for Alzheimer's disease, according to scientists. You can pick your nose, but you can't pick your pathogens. A review of dozens of published studies into the mechanism behind the neurological disease has collected strong evidence that people who frequently pick their nose are at higher risk of developing Alzheimer's disease. The new report, compiled and written by researchers at the Western Sydney University, was published in the Journal of Biomolecules last year. And apparently, it took a whole year to get to the headlines. Neuroinflation in Alzheimer's disease might be partially caused by viral bacteria and fungi pathogens entering the brain through the nose and the olfactory system, they wrote in the report. And one of the ways we get these bacteria and pathogens up there is by sticking our finger up there and placing them directly at the blood-brain barrier. Stop picking your nose. U.S. money supply is doing something no one has seen since the Great Depression, and it implies a big move to come in the stock market. Oh my. Does this mean your entire life savings is about to tank? Well, probably. Hope you've been listening to us for the last decade and you've been using all of your money to prepare for the future, for a grid down scenario, for a cyber attack where you have food, seeds, and knowledge to get you through hard times. And most of your money is not in the stock market, but maybe in precious metals and in a hole in your backyard. Based on monthly data from the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System, U.S. M2 money supply peaked at roughly $21.7 trillion back in July of 2022. As of December 2023, M2 sat at approximately $20.87 trillion. This is our money supply, M2. M2 has fallen by 1.68% on a year-over-year basis and 3.86% since the summer of the Wu flu. This represents the first meaningful decline in M2 since the Great Depression. And that is not a good indicator of the future financial system's longevity. The longevity of the Great Crustal Sliff hypothesis is also coming to an end, fortunately. A new book that is being released for free, The Truth They Tried to Hide, The Great Crustal Shift Hoax, is available now for you to download in PDF form. We're going to give you a link to the entire book where you can read for free on the Internet Archive. You can download it and maybe even send it to a friend to perhaps, well, let's just say, knock some sense into them. By Kevin W. Jameson. We're going to have him on the show and do a whole expose on his book, which just came out yesterday, and we are pushing to the masses because it's free, and free information is always good information. Do you know about fermented jalapeno honey? Well, if you didn't, now you do. Fermented jalapeno honey is a perfect way to spice up your life while boosting your immune system at the same time. Jalapenos and raw honey both have health and medicinal benefits, and now is a great time to access them in this delicious, spicy, natural ferment. See, all you need to do is have your own bees and grow your own jalapenos. And then you take your raw honey and you dump copious amounts of the jalapenos with the seeds, if you like it spicy, and you let it sit in a dark area, burping the lid for a week or so. And the final product is not only medicinal, but it's beyond delicious. It will keep you happy, healthy, and wise, and spice up your life in ways that you never thought conceivable. And that's a boom to knowledge. Please share this video as we are shadow banned and we need your help to grow. Become a Patreon, support the work we do, and watch all of our content in one place, commercial free. And hit the thumbs up. It helps with the algorithm. Be safe. We love you. And that is a boom.